Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo.
There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do?
I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault. A new series streaming now only on Peacock.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans. Even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes. Now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox. Clean feels good.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary listeners, heroes and heroines, crooks and crookieens, The Grateful Dead, the audio performance you are about to enjoy, discusses casinos and gambling. We do not recommend gambling with money you cannot afford to lose or that is needed to pay bills. If you have a gambling problem, contact your problem gambling hotline. If you do not know how to contact your problem gambling hotline, send an email to help@casinocombat.com. We will find that number for you and provide it to you. Our hosts' past performances are not indicative of anyone's future performance, including his own. All materials presented here are based on actual facts. Names and dates are changed to protect the innocent and the guilty. Some events unrelated to outcomes may be omitted in the interest of brevity and clarity. The contents of this episode are the property of Volcanic Dingo LLC. All rights reserved.
It's me, it's TRG, the Ramblin Gambler, just trying to make a living and doing the best I can.
Lyrics, dude. Recite him some lyrics.
Alright, guys, alright. Easy enough today. I've been leaning into this one a lot, without a doubt. What a long, strange trip it's been. Wonderful Grateful Dead song, wonderful lyrics, and certainly very true. The trip that I've been on and that you've all gone on with me, a trip from a guy going a little stir crazy, couldn't talk to my friends, couldn't see my friends at the casino. So a long, strange trip indeed, from there to podcast host to casino host to a group of listeners getting ready to get on a great ship and take a great cruise together. It truly has been a very, very interesting trip, and I'm looking forward to the trip we're about to take. So welcome to episode 170 of our Casino Combat podcast. It has been a long, strange trip, and hopefully a trip that goes on for quite a while longer. I will lay out the battle plan for you in just a moment, but before we do that, couple things going on other than the cruise in the Casino Combat Galaxy. Big announcement, always the biggest of announcements. We have a new member of the Excelsior Brigade, Double Down 21, and Double Down 21 set a record, a squad record, an Excelsior Brigade member record. He went faster than anyone else from the moment of submitting his email to the moment where he had found Same Bet, asked for his invitation, and had entered the Slack virtual VIP lounge, entered our very hidden, very public secret club. He did it in basically a business day, from the moment when I got his email and responded to the moment where he was entering the virtual VIP lounge. Very, very short period of time. It's going to be hard for somebody else to beat that record, that's for sure. And we are so happy that Double Down 21 not only joined the Excelsior Brigade, but used that Excelsior Brigade membership to ask for an invitation into the Slack virtual VIP lounge and come hang out with us there. And that lounge, that virtual space, has to be one of the most amazing things ever created in the world of gambling, because it is a secret society of expert gamblers hidden in plain sight that anyone can join and benefit from joining just by putting in some effort. And that will be one of our recurring themes today. Without a doubt, that will be one of our recurring themes. There's not a lot of other things like that, at least that I'm aware of, out there in the world, where smart, knowledgeable, skilled, testing, experimenting gamblers share their ideas with each other, get feedback, encourage each other, coach each other, tweak each other's thoughts. We're going to see some examples of that today, but we are so happy to have him join us both in the Excelsior Brigade and in the Slack Virtual VIP Lounge. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that I did, the Billy and T-Rex wanted me to make sure that I did, is make sure that I say a big thank you to Excelsior Brigade member Wrench. He just recently sent us a very generous tip. We really appreciate that. We appreciate the ability to put that back into the podcast. Gator Gambler did that recently as well. We always thank you. We always appreciate it. No fees for the most part. We charge not to charge for what we do. And at the same time, if you have a good run, if you have a good set of wins, if you've accomplished some things based on what we've taught, if you're dividing that win up and putting a little money of it aside in your safe for future losses, putting some of it into something that you want to buy in your life, paying some bills, and you want to send a tip to the podcast, you want to send a tip to me, send a tip to the guys, you can always do that. Just go to PayPal and email whatever you would like to donate to trg@casinocombat.com. Spell combat with a K. Always appreciated, never needed, but always appreciated. And thank you not only to Wrench, but to all of those of you that make a monthly contribution and drop a little something in the box. It really is appreciated. We do appreciate knowing that you find value in what we do. So thank you very much for that. Great episode. As I've been doing, we've kind of streamlined the process. We've managed to do this a lot more quickly. What used to take 2 or 3 business days now takes a few hours. We've tightened up how we do this, and sometimes I just get inspired and crank out files, and T-Rex cranks out edits kind of while I'm cranking out the files, and we're able to do these episodes a lot more quickly. So I woke up and I was truly inspired. So here is the battle plan for episode 170 of our Casino Combat podcast. We are going to start out in just a matter of a few minutes with a moment of concepts. And as I've been doing with these, I have some things I want you to think about, or I hope we can all think about that together. And then after that, we are going to do a Core Koncepts segment. I am so excited to share this with you. I am going to let it be a surprise. I am going to let it be the best kind of surprise, what this segment is going to be about. But this one is amazing. There's a bit of a theme here today. And some of that theme is kind of what have we accomplished. And this is certainly an amazing thing that has been accomplished by our squad. So I'm looking forward to sharing that Core Koncepts segment with you. And then we're going to adjourn, as we always do, to the virtual VIP lounge for some sips and some stories. I'm going to repeat a story. I try not to do that, but I'm going to repeat a story. Part of the reason I try not to do that is I suspect that if you play them back, we're going to find out I don't always tell the same stories exactly the same way. So I've always tried to avoid repeating stories, but I'm going to repeat a story that I think deserves to be repeated, and I want to use it to put some emphasis and some focus on what we're all kind of excited about getting ready to go do. And so we're going to use the virtual VIP lounge to do just that. So there's the battle plan. Thank you very much for being here. If you are new, thank you especially for being here. Hang out, see what this is all about. If you like what you hear, if you would like to be able to win the game of casino gambling, which so many of our listeners can do, so many members of our squad can do. If you're sitting there thinking, no, you guys don't beat the game of casino gambling. We do beat the game of casino gambling. Every once in a while they get a few bucks, but we get way more back in value. And most of the time, we walk out either as individuals or as a squad with their money and their free stuff. And that is what Casino Combat is all about. So if this is your first time, buckle up, hold on. You just got invited to the best free squad of expert gamblers anywhere on the planet. And if you want to stick around and be part of our squad like Double Down 21, we so very much would love to have you join us, and you can be on that next cruise with us. And we are going to teach you how, if you just give us the gift of your time and listen to this podcast. Here we go. A Moment of Koncepts is next.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind.
Thing means nothing. What?
A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination.
I like to use Moment of Koncepts segments to take a core concept, and in this case, I think we can take the core concept that if at the end of a time period, a visit, a trip, a month, a quarter, a year, you've taken a small loss, make it up with previous wins and or with the comps and gifts that the casino has given you. And I think we take that core concept and we take the casino wisdom, have a win stack. And we take the casino wisdom, you have to want the win more than you want the action. And I think if you throw that all in a mental blender and think about it a little bit, we'll come kind of close, I hope, to where my thoughts are today. And so I do encourage you, I kind of am doing a thought exercise, admittedly, but I kind of encourage you to think some about some of this too. In a lot of ways, this thought on my part, this set of thoughts in the shower is why we have an episode today. It was this thought that I was like, oh, that's the final piece of the puzzle. That's the missing kind of tie to these other ideas that I have in my head. I had the core concept idea in my head a little bit, and I knew we had a new Excelsior Brigade member to welcome, and so I knew we had some stuff to start the episode, and I knew I had a great core concept episode I was going to do at some point, and I can always find a story to have a sip and hang out in the virtual VIP lounge, but I didn't have that other piece. I didn't have this section. I didn't have this thing to talk about. And over about 12 or 14 hours from last night to this morning, it kind of snapped into view. So here's the story about the segment to get to the thought that I want to share. We did, and you may have listened to it, we did last night a Zoom call to kind of do a briefing for the cruise, lay out some planning things I know, to do some group planning. I thought when we finished up, there might be enough useful information there, enough aspirational information, enough things to make somebody go, you know, the next time TRG and the squad are going to get on a cruise ship, I want to be on that cruise ship. And or, oh, I'm getting ready to go on a cruise. I've never thought about doing X, or I've never thought about doing Y. So I thought there was enough there that I threw together a quick episode last night. It's all in episode 169 if you want to go listen to it. But as we finished that up, there was a flurry of information back and forth in the Slack virtual VIP lounge. And one of the things that I saw, and my instinct was to jump on and reply right away. That was my first instinct when I saw this post. And I didn't. I held back. And I wanted to think about it a little bit. I wanted to form my thoughts a little more strongly, a little more clearly. And ultimately, as I did that, I decided I wanted to share that with everyone all at the same time, not just write a couple sentences in the Slack channel. As we were talking, as we were kicking around the fact that MSC really did take care of us, everybody in our squad that's going on the cruise got a balcony cabin on an upper floor. We're all kind of right together. They added in the Fantastica package, which gets us some room service choices and some workout choices without paying a fee. We are not paying port taxes and fees. The cruise is completely comped. There's a deposit to be paid, but the deposit comes right back to us on the ship once we get on. It is a fully comped cruise unless you decide to get excursions or drink packages or Wi-Fi or what have you. We've got this complete experience, and we're all kind of kicking around messages about it. And East Coast Emissary says, boy, TRG really set us up with a great cruise. And I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the credit. And I really don't like disagreeing with Dr. ECE. I'm pretty clear on the fact that in many aspects of life, he is a much smarter and wiser man than I am. And certainly he holds a PhD in casino combat and I do not. So I don't like disagreeing with him, but I really do. My first reaction was to really strongly disagree with, boy, TRG really set us up with a great cruise. I didn't. All of you did. I didn't do that. We did that. 5 years ago, I was just a guy with a big idea and a pen and a pad and a big imagination. And then here we are, click, click, boom. And we're going on this cruise. And it seems like just yesterday we started this, but that's the point. It wasn't just yesterday. We started this 5 years ago. And I had a really interesting idea, or something I thought was an interesting idea. You see, I have in my life, in my long journey with wrestling, I have not trusted people that would say in whatever form, written, public, whatever, would say, oh, I can teach you how to be good at gambling. This is how much it costs. I have a system. This is how much it costs. I'm not talking about books, right? Books can be borrowed. Books can be lent. The books are different. But the idea of someone saying, I'll teach you for money. And I didn't like that idea particularly. So the podcast was haphazardly crafted to ask not for money, but for effort. And admittedly, listens were going to happen from that effort. The original Inner Circle member, Golden Fan, first to the ring, had to realize there was a game to be played and play it for the game to be announced. Dr. ECE and ACE had to not only play the game, but be willing to leave the beautiful and wonderful ocean resort and come down and meet a perfect stranger from the internet in Atlantic City. And boy, oh boy, in hindsight, what a perfect name for an Inner Circle member. East Coast Emissary. The podcast's representative on the East Coast when I couldn't be around. And he certainly stepped up and filled that role beyond anyone's expectations, certainly beyond my expectations. The observations could go on and on for each and every member of the Inner Circle and the Excelsior Brigade. But I didn't get us a cruise. All of you did that. We did that. Because you decided this podcast was worth the effort. I went out wandering the internet looking for people like me. And I met lots of Ents along the way. I met lots of Ents, and not tree folks like in Lord of the Ring, ENTS, but Ents, N''T''S. The can'ts, the won'ts, the don'ts, the beaten, the broken, and the damned that march in the black parade but refuse to be led. All of you were willing to listen to what I was saying and put in some effort, and you were willing to play the way I said I played, and test and experiment and wonderfully expand on my thinking and add new things and new games to an arsenal that we all share. We got ourselves a great comped cruise. All I did was talk into the air to see if anyone would listen. Thank you, thank all of you. If you're listening to this and think, I want to be part of that, I encourage you to do that. But the credit is ours and mostly all of yours, not mine. Next, I have an incredible Core Koncepts segment for you today.
Chronic spontaneous urticaria, or chronic hives with no known cause. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing pinball. Itchy, red bumps start on my arm, then my back. Sometimes my legs. Hives come out of nowhere. And it comes and goes. But I just found out about a treatment option at treatmyhives.com. Take that, chronic hives. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
Let's start with a quick rundown of the core concepts. The first of the core concepts is learn to play one of the 5 casino games with wagers where the house only has a small advantage over the players and a reasonable amount of tier credits are awarded for playing those games. That would be blackjack, baccarat, craps, or roulette. And let's be honest, roulette kind of barely makes the list, and an argument could be made that Let It Ride belongs on the list, but we're looking for games as part of our core concepts that have a very small house advantage and give us tier credits for playing the game, and hopefully reward credits in some fashion, imaginary free, tax-free imaginary money. Next core concept, learn a wagering process that includes both progressive and regressive attributes. And progressive is increasing wagers after a win or a series of wins. Regressive wagers are wagers that are increased after a loss or a series of losses. The bottom line here, if you're new, I don't think you can win just betting $10. Eventually you gotta move your wagers around, either because you're winning or because you're losing. The next core concept, have a bankroll of money you can afford to lose that is larger than needed for the game, unit size, and wagering process you intend to use. The fourth core concept, get and use a player's card from every casino where you play and look for ways to upgrade that card by way of tier matches with reward systems for other casinos, hotel chains, and cruise lines. The next core concept, have the discipline to win a small set amount of money and leave either the table or the casino, or lose a small amount of money and leave. And that could be leave the table or leave the building, depending on factors of time and distance traveled to get to the casino. The next core concept, in the end, try to win over the long run. The trip, the month, the quarter, or the year, not the machine, the table, or the day. And finally, if you have losses in that long run, whatever it is, make up those losses with comps and gifts from the casino. The core concepts, concepts spelled with a K, of casino combat, laid out in detail in the very early episodes of this podcast, explained in detail with less stories and jokes on the Boot Camp, camp spelled with a K, playlist on our YouTube channel, and these core concepts have undoubtedly stood the test of time. These are an excellent foundation for you to build gambling skill on and around. I want to focus today on a wagering process with progressive and regressive components and a bankroll of money appropriate to the wagers you intend to make and how you intend to wager. I have often said that I see wagering processes as a big box of Lego, and we can dump them out and we can build. And what I build might be different from what you've built. I've said, here are some of mine that I have built that follow these rules. I have built TRG1, ironically named the one and the only, because it was the one and the only in the very beginning. And TRG2, Always Be Grindin', which is a drastic improvement on an old system called Oscar's Grind that employs the additional core concepts that I think are important. And I've shared TRG4, a refinement of TRG2 that we call Win More, Keep More. And I play a slight variation of that. And we've added in Meta Martingale as an optional thing to layer on top. Some of us are using a rapier technique that we layer in on top. But I took the Lego of wagering process. I took progressive and regressive elements and bankroll assembly, and I built ways to play that work for me, and I showed them to all of you with Dr. ECE's help in building the flow charts, and I said, here is a way I have assembled what I think works. And I've said each and every time, try these, play these, they're tested, they work. But there is no reason that as you develop confidence and skill, you can't tweak these, you can adjust these, you can make them different in ways that make sense for you. I am not ever intending to say this is the perfect way to put this together for everyone. I have said, here is a somewhat simplified way to learn these, and if you learn them, and if you become skilled, and if you practice, you may very well find a different way that you want to implement these. And you implement them differently in different play environments. How I play locally is different than how I play on a trip. I am not going to take the 2.5-hour drive east and south to Casino 2, my home casino, and check into a comped room and play one session and win a day's pay and turn around and walk out and drive back home and skip the comped room. I am not going to drive all the way to Atlantic City or fly all the way to Biloxi and just try to get a day's pay and wrap it up and be done. No, I'm going to try to get a day's pay and then in some way take some type of break and document it. And it may be just a few minutes break documented, and it may very well be a break to go get some food or a break to go from one Caesars casino to another Caesars casino in Atlantic City and play again. It might be a break for dinner, then a session, then a show, then a session. It might be, as it once was in Atlantic City, I'm here for the tier credits. I'm just going to do a full 3-tier meta martingale. And whatever point I have a day's pay, I'm going to document the day's pay, and then I'm just going to do another one, and I'm just going to keep cranking through the tier credits. So we had a post recently in the Slack Virtual VIP Lounge by Questing Scholar. I am calling this the Questing Scholar methodology, and there is a lot here. There's a lot of really, really brilliant thinking here. And I am not going to try to suggest to you that you are going to maybe get all of it from what I'm going to read to you, because I'm going to read his methodology, the Questing Scholar methodology. I have posted it on the website in a blog post. So if you go to casinocombat.com, spelling combat with a K, and you click on blog posts, you will find the Questing Scholar methodology all laid out, just as I'm going to present it to you here today. And within that, you will find a link so that you can download not only the methodology, but his example testing data. So we are making this available to everyone. But Questing Scholar originally posted this in the Slack Virtual VIP Lounge, where he said, this is my thesis. First, everyone's situation and goals for casino combat are different. TRG teaches frequent visits to try to win a day's pay and get out. That does not work for me because I don't have any casinos close to me. For me these days, a visit to a casino is a weekend trip to Atlantic City that I may be due once a month. So while I am there, I want to play as much blackjack as possible to increase my tier points. Makes sense. That was my comment. Increase my ADT, and because I love playing blackjack and I want to play for hours a day if I don't get pummeled. So if your situation is similar to mine, or if you just end up liking this method, here it is. First, I play my version of TRG4. The changes and particulars are: negative exit when you only have 2 units left in your play stack, unless you have 3 units and the next bet is a 2-unit bet, then just end it because you aren't coming back. Positive exit when your win stack reaches 6 units or exceeds 6 units because you had 5 units and you want to double down or something. When making bets with a less than full play stack, regressive, only increased to 2 units. And he puts in parentheses, I believe originally TRG2 and TRG4 would have you increase to a 3-unit bet in certain situations. I don't do that. And now I'm going to put a comment in here. So I am no longer reading his post. I am inserting some additional thoughts of my own. I would say for about the past 18 months, I have been playing something I internally call TRG 4.14159, sweeter than pie. and I have not gone through the process of documenting all the little tweaks that I do. I didn't think we needed to further muddy the water by having another variation of TRG2 and TRG4. But I will say that one of the things that I have done is I really don't do that 3-unit step. In fact, I kind of do a Dr. ECE teeter-totter back between 1 and 2 units based on previous wins or previous losses. And I will also say that I am starting to think about going back to the 3-unit bet because I feel like I'm increasingly, and this is anecdotal, and I am not disagreeing with what Questing Scholar has created here in any way, shape, or form. This is just my observations of my play bounced off his. I've been playing the way he describes, and I've been wondering if sometimes I'm not recovering the way I should because I'm not making that 3-unit risk. This is a more conservative approach to TRG4 and an appropriately scholarly one. So I want to recognize that little tweak. And then he continues, make progressive bets, add half a unit to your bet from your win stack when you add to your win stack twice in a row. And he says in parentheses, correctly, I believe originally TRG2 and 4 would have you do this anytime you won 2 in a row and added a unit to your win stack. He is correct, and I do still, easy for me to say, play that way. What he's pointing to here is you can be on the regressive side, and you can win 2 in a row, and the second win completely restores your play stack and gives you an extra 11th unit, which you put in your win stack, and I do then take approximately half and add it to my next wager. He is tweaking how I do progressive by saying instead he wants to do back-to-back win stack adds before. This is simply, he decided he's building his Lego his way, and he wants a spoiler on the back of his car. Or maybe it's a wind dam up front. He's just building his Lego slightly differently than I build mine. What that demonstrates is proficiency. That demonstrates expertise and a scholarly, I'll keep playing off that, understanding of the wagering system. He also notes that he caps progressive bets at 2 units. I cap mine at 2.5. We could have a wonderful time sipping bourbon and debating the merits of 2, 2.5, or 3 units, and I will add that cap if you are playing TRG2 or TRG4. That cap belongs in blackjack. It doesn't belong in baccarat or pass, don't pass craps, because you never have to worry about pressing too large and getting caught with splits and doubles that wreck your session. Those are his adjustments to TRG4. Win more, keep more. He continues. Now to the betting. For a day at the casino, you need a 50-unit bankroll. This is my reasoning. Your worst losses will be 8 units. Let's say the worst thing that can happen is your first 6 sessions, you have the full 8 units loss with no wins. You are now down 48 units. You are not coming back from that most likely. You may make some of it back, but you can also lose more, so this would be the end of blackjack for the day for me. So that is down 48 units. This exact scenario will rarely, if ever, happen, but you can have a combination of wins and losses and be down 48 units for the day at some point. You're done playing blackjack for the day when that happens. What will happen more often, and I did some testing on this in the lab, and he puts the lab in quotes, you will play about 20 sessions, and that can last you about 4 hours, sometimes more. You will have winning days and you will have losing days, but it will even out. You will play a lot of blackjack for the day, earn tier points, comp dollars, and increase your ADT, and therefore other comps like free rooms, free bets, and invitation to blackjack tournaments. Boy, that sounds like the Core Koncepts, doesn't it? That sounds like the end of the Core Koncepts, my comment. So I rounded 48 up to 50 in the first sentence. That is your bankroll for the day. And that's completely Core Koncept compliant. That is completely have a bankroll of money you can afford to lose that is appropriate to the wagers and how you're going to make those wagers. Completely Core Koncept compliant. Taking this one step further, he continues, taking this one step further, if you can gather 3 of these daily bankrolls and put it aside to draw from, you can play almost indefinitely, because to burn through this, you would have to lose what is equal to 18 8-unit losses without having enough wins to offset this. I think this is very hard to do. Again, I have tested this in the lab and have started to test it in real life, and I believe it works. So gather 150 units of your choice of unit amount. Take 50 of those to the casino and play for hours. Try to play 20 sessions or so in a day. To give a real example, for me, I choose a $25 unit size. So 150 times 25 equals $3,750. I have been able to put that much aside solely for blackjack. If you can afford more, go for it. If you can afford to put $7,500 aside, you can do this with a $50 unit size. It's totally scalable. Now there is another tweak to this that I do to increase my ADT and the tier points I earn, but I will discuss that in the future. We've got a cliffhanger, folks. We have to all insist that we find out from Questing Scholar what he does to increase ADT and tier points. I am looking forward to that, and I think we have to hold him to that little hook, right? That little foreshadowing. We have to make sure we get that. He continues, so here's a screenshot of the lab testing. Each column represents a day at the casino with the positive green and negative red exits. The numbers in row 22 represent the total for that day, and the number to the right of the last day's total is the total for all the days combined. And I have put that everything I just read minus my comments, as well as his test results, in a PDF. They are on the website in the blog post, and at the bottom of the blog post there is a link so that you can download the PDF and all the charting information as well. This is incredibly well done. Incredibly well done, well presented, well thought out. Some of his modifications are similar to, as I said, what I play on a regular basis. It mirrors also how I play in many ways without all the math. He did all the math I've never taken the time to do for myself and has provided it to all of you. But this very much mirrors my thought process on how I play on long visits to Atlantic City. The goal of longevity and time on table changes how we use the core concepts versus myself just trying to get my money locally and get out. I'm happy to get my money locally from a slot machine on free slot play and be done for the day. I don't care that I'm not playing blackjack on a particular day. This is really well done. I've been thinking about it for a while. And I realized as I went back to prep this episode that I had missed something. I really did. I was thinking about how impressed I was. I was thinking about how well thought out this is. I was thinking about how, while I'm not sure I like all of his modifications are well thought out, well applied. It's an excellent way to put the Lego together just slightly differently. And so I went back and I wanted to download this and I wanted to make the PDF and I wanted to make the link and I wanted to post it on the blog post. And then it kind of hit me as I reread it, as I did a little edit of a couple things to get it in the right format. That very first sentence, this is my thesis. Yes, it most certainly is. Questing Scholar is now the second person on the planet to hold a PhD in casino combat for expanding how we all think about implementing the core concepts of casino combat. Well done, sir. Very well done. A PhD level piece of work. You certainly deserve to be called Dr. Questing Scholar. I am thrilled to award you that well-deserved doctorate in casino combat. Well done. Bravo. All right. Wow, it's fun when I get to do that. I didn't even know that was a thing when we started this. This is really cool. All right, let's adjourn to the virtual VIP lounge for some sips and a story.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Welcome to the most must-listen-to segment in casino lifestyle podcasting, the virtual VIP lounge. Our lounge is open and we have the best virtual everything, virtually all the time. Best virtual food and drink served in any virtual VIP lounge, anywhere on the interwebs. Guaranteed or your money back.
You know, I know we have Fred doing that to make sure he gets equal time and doesn't feel left out, but I may take that one back. I may start doing that myself again. I kind of like my Miz-like flair on that when I get to do that one. So welcome to our virtual VIP lounge. We do have the best virtual everything virtually all the time, and it is guaranteed or your money back. I love VIP lounge in the real world. I love when we get to hang out there as a squad. I love when I get invited to a VIP lounge somewhere and get to hang out and meet old friends and meet new friends and make new friends and share drinks and share food. And that's how we try to make this feel. So if you can, press pause, pour yourself something, fix a plate, hang out with me a little bit, listen to some stories. In this case, some stories and some observations, things that I kind of want to reflect on a little bit, share a little bit. And that's what we're going to do today. So if you can, join me. Root beer today. Unadulterated root beer. No flourishes, no extras. Got a lot going on and got to stay sharp. But please join me if you can. And if it's late at night and you're not driving and you want to pour a bourbon, I'm having one with you in spirit. I absolutely agree that I am having one with you in spirit. So I've told this story before, and as I said in the open, the danger of me doing a story more than once is there's a good chance I'm going to tell the story differently. Hopefully not in any material way. But way back in the day when we didn't have any local casinos, and I was going maybe once a week down to Casino 2, Casino 1, I'm sorry. I hadn't gotten to Casino 2 yet. I was going down to Casino 1 on a fairly regular basis, usually for an overnight Wednesday to Thursday, to use my comps and get my gifts and play my free bets and enjoy the casino and earning a pretty decent level of tier credits and reward credits. And our kids were old enough that they were all driving. They were all old enough that if they needed to have a night without us around, that wasn't a big deal. And we got invited to have a comped room and see a Rick Springfield concert. And my wife's initial reaction was, oh yeah, no, I don't really want to go do that. He only had 1 or 2 hit songs. He was better on General Hospital. I don't want to do that. And that was somewhat us being spoiled, her being spoiled. We had, over the previous couple of years, we had gone to see Jimmy Buffett. We had gone to see Lady Antebellum. We had gone to see Bad Company and Leonard Skinner. We had gone to see some bigger acts, admittedly, than Rick Springfield. And it's not interesting that she didn't want to go to Rick Springfield. What's interesting is she got talking to her sister about it. And she was saying that we got invited to Rick Springfield and they were comping the room and we were going to be seated in VIP and we were going to have free drinks and free snacks, but she just didn't really want to go. It just didn't seem like it was worth the drive. And her sister kind of went, you have a free room at a resort and your husband wants to take you to a concert and you're going to sit in a VIP section and you're going to have drinks and you're going to have food and you don't want to go because it's only, and I did do the air quotes thing, even though I'm talking into the air, you don't want to go because it's only Rick Springfield? And my wife came back to me and said, yeah, I was talking to my sister Patty and I realized it might be a really nice date night, and if, we can still go, I guess I would like to go after all. And of course I called Bubba and told him we changed our minds, and of course he took care of us and set everything up, and we had a wonderful time. It was a fun evening. And I think I've told the longer version in the limo ride and everything else. What does that have to do with anything? Why am I revisiting that story? I'm revisiting that story in light of the cruise. I'm revisiting that story in light of the cruise because if we are being honest, and I am looking forward to this cruise, and I am looking forward to seeing everybody, and I am looking forward to sailing on MSC for the first time. I've heard great things about the food, the desserts, the pizza, the pastries. I'm so looking forward to all of this, especially after our conversations last night. I asked for a private table, guys. I asked MSC if we could have a private blackjack game, and they said yes. How cool is that? I am so looking forward to this. But I also want to be candid and I want to be honest. If you cruise regularly, if you cruise frequently, our itinerary is a very nice 7-day itinerary. It's laid out well, but we are just going down to Orlando, to Cape Canaveral, another town in America. And then we're going to Nassau, which is one of the easiest cruise ports to get to. And then we are going to their private island, which I have never been to and I hear is very nice. And I am very much looking forward to that. And then we're going to spend a couple days at sea and then we're going to come home. But we're not going to Turks and Caicos. We're not going to Curacao. We're not going to Roatan. We're just kind of going down the East Coast and making a stop and going to a couple places and coming back up the East Coast. It is what it is. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. But I have actually had some people that have talked to me about the cruise and they heard about the itinerary. And the one guy was very nice and very honest. And he said, I'm picky about my cruises. Even if it's comped, if I'm going to take a whole week and cruise, I want to go someplace I haven't been. And that was him saying, it's kind of just Rick Springfield. That's right. He's kind of doing my wife's version of, it's just Rick Springfield. But that's my point, is her sister's reaction, right? That is also so many people's reaction to, we're going on a free cruise. And they didn't stick us in the basement of the boat with no windows. We're going on a free cruise in balcony cabins at the top of the ship with free room service 24 hours a day and our own private table. My point being, normal for us. Just normal. Equine Ensign is not quite on back-to-back cruises, but he almost is. He went on a great cruise, and he came back, and he's going to be back for a little bit, and he's getting on another cruise ship with us. Our normal is amazing to other people. And I don't want us to ever lose sight of that. I don't want us to ever get, I'm saying us, I'm including you. Be however you want to be. That's unfair of me. But I personally don't ever want to get so jaded that I'm like, yeah. No, I don't want to go with my friends. I don't want to drive over to Atlantic City and go with my friends for 7 days on a great cruise where we have our own private blackjack. I want to stay amazed of it. I want to be amazed of it the whole time we are on this cruise together. It is normal for us. We have normalized just asking a cruise ship for cabins and a private game and getting it. We have normalized that. It is just now who we are as a squad. But it is amazing to other people. Mrs. TRG said to me, she has friends and coworkers who are jealous of her. And I said, why? They can go too. Why would they be jealous? Jealous is such a horrible feeling to have. No one needs to be jealous of us. We are a very, very welcoming group of people. Yeah, we're asking for a little effort. Learning TRG2 or TRG4 takes some effort. Learning to do play all day, it takes a little effort if that's what you're going to do on the craps side. It takes a little effort and time, but we are willing to teach you everything we know. MSC was very, very generous with the comps they were willing to give all of us. No one needs to be jealous of us. Anyone and everyone, for the most part, can put together, if they're able, a small amount of money, an amount of money less than they would probably need to spend to go on this cruise, and come with us. And we'd be happy to teach anyone who wants to come. So no one needs to be jealous. It's unfortunate that that message doesn't get out as much as I would like. This is just our normal. And our normal, which for some people might be, oh, that's just okay, is amazing to so many people. And there are so many people that don't believe it's possible. And that's the sad thing. There are so many people, my wife also hears this. Oh, it's not really comped. You're going to gamble. With kind of a sneer and oh, you've got to gamble. Like they're somehow superior in some way. They just miss the point. They miss the point entirely. Gambling can be done properly as a skill. We are skilled players and skilled gamblers, and that means we get to normalize cruises and cruising. The last core concept, the most important skill to learn. Try to win in the long run. And in the short run, if you lose some money, make it up with comps and gifts. A cruise is a wonderful comp. Our skills earned it for us as a group. Normal for us is amazing to other people, and I can't wait for us to enjoy our normal together.
Please, tip your waitresses, tip your bartenders, tip your dealers. If you have a host, tip your host, but don't tip away your wins. TRG has spoken. Everything you heard here is true from a certain point of view. In 10 years, we may find out he was wrong about all of this. It's time for leaving, and I hope you understand. TRG was born a ramblin' man. Love it, hate it, it don't matter. Please share with your family and friends. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening. The best part of the podcast is next. The Casino Combat Blues. Thank you again to Fish Audio for providing my glorious voice. Special thank you to my original actress, author, Julia Tverdovskaya.
For Atlantic City Empress, Casino Combat's ace. There are profits in the casino tonight, I can feel it in my bones. I had a premonition, you should probably play alone. I know the house has an advantage, but that's part of the thrill. If we follow the core concepts, the chips begin to spill. So baby, here's your player's card, put your bankroll in your hand. Use just some of that money now, do it just the way we planned. Just follow the core concepts and you could win several grand. Well, it's good if it goes down like that, don't have to play to lose. It's gambling as a business, the Casino Combat Blues. Casino Combat Blues. The dealers and the pit bosses, the security and the law, the winning and the losing and the tricks nobody saw. No matter if it's blackjack, roulette or craps, you gotta carry defense cause you always carry cash. There's lots of shady characters, lots of dirty deals. Everybody has an alias cause that's more fun we feel. It's the lure of winning money, it's got a very strong appeal. Perhaps you'd understand it better standing in my shoes. It's the ultimate enticement, it's the Casino Combat Blues. Casino Combat Blues. Whoa. You don't see it in the headlines, you don't hear it every day. No one's trying to stop us and we don't need to go away. We can gamble in Atlantic City, we can gamble in LA, we can gamble out in Vegas. I mean, we're here to stay. Gambling's propping up the budgets of folks like me and you. You ask any casino manager, he'll say there's nothing he can do. From the pockets of the casino, right down to me and you. Me and you. It's a